What's up, people? Welcome back. Well, this is by request from my podcast Sinner Report partner, Spatry, of course, from Spatry's Cup of Linux. He made his own Linux distribution. It's based off Manjaro. It's version 0.8.9.1. It is the Cup of Linux edition, brand new. This just came out, I believe, this past week, 2 or 3 days ago. Now, normally something like this, I would download it and install this in my test machine, but as many of you know, my test machine went bad. It's my laptop. I think I dropped it one time. I'm not sure, but basically with that machine, if I apply pressure to the right side of the palm rest, it works. So I was actually thinking about getting a stack of heavyweight bananas and just put it on the palm rest to keep it working. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I didn't feel comfortable. Even if I was able to rig that laptop to get it working, I did not feel comfortable testing a new distribution in a defective machine. So I apologize for that. For those of you that have donated to help me out, thank you. It is greatly appreciated. I promise I will buy a test machine to properly test these distributions. I will buy that machine as soon as I can. So if you haven't donated already to Total OS Today channel, please do. Alright, getting to this, as I stated, this is the Cup of Linux edition, and the best way that I know how to review this is just play and comment along. I will play the video that Spatry uploaded where he does a review of this, and I will make some important comments along the way and give you my thoughts about this brand new Cup of Linux distribution. Again, I apologize for the way I am doing it. This is the only fair way I know to do it, and to give you my thoughts on what I saw, and what I saw I kind of like. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I probably won't play the whole thing, but let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start this at the 1 minute 30-second mark. Here we go.
And with all of that out of the way, I present Manjaro, the Cup of Linux edition, and here it is. We're looking at the 32-bit edition, and this is the live CD, and by default it opens up into compiz. Now you're going to notice that the graphics are a little bit choppy in the playback and that sort of thing, and that is to be expected in VirtualBox. As a matter of fact, we know that they weren't able to run compiz and that sort of thing for quite some time. But I just want to give you a quick rundown of what you are getting with this. This is Manjaro GNU Linux. I just decided to remove some packages to make it a little bit smaller in file size, and then of course I added my own custom packages to this to, you know, to make it a little bit better, a nice little distribution that you can build on top of. On the upper right corner of the screen, you're going to see that you have a logout option here. You also have a clock with a calendar. A battery indicator is here. You have quick access to the update manager. The system, of course, is up to date. It was just built a half hour ago. All right, you have volume control, you have internet connectivity, and this is the compiz fusion icon. For those of you who do not want to run compiz, you can right-click on this icon here, and you can select Window Manager, and you can choose between compiz or XFWM4, which does not have all the fancy icons.
Alright, one thing about compiz that I have noticed in my experience is compiz is a fantastic way to add and fine-tune special effects on your desktop. When it works wonderfully. A word of caution, it's not always stable, especially if you start tinkering with it, at least in Ubuntu. I'm not sure about Manjaro. Spatry may have more experience with this, but as far as compiz and acting and adding, you know, special desktop effects to your machine, it's a wonderful way to play with your machine, as it were.
Candy and special effects. If you want to change all of the settings that compiz has, you can adjust them in the settings manager. And then of course we have the Emerald theme manager here, which will allow you to change window borders. And that's something I want to bring up here, because this distribution was designed without any window borders. For some reason, I just don't like window borders at all. And so how you move windows around is simple. You press Alt and space, and a menu will pop up. You can move windows, and Alt Space again, you can resize Windows if it has that ability, and I guess in this case.
By the way, what you just saw with the window shaking and stuff, I believe that is a special effect in compiz called wobbly windows.
It'll only let me resize this way. You can also press Alt and the left mouse button to move, but it doesn't work when I'm running this in VirtualBox. However, I did include a bordered theme so that you can put borders on the compiz windows if you decide that you want them. Another thing that was mentioned by a lot of people at the Cup of Linux forum is that we have people who want to have accessibility options. So with compiz enabled, you can press the super key and roll your mouse button, and look at that. You've got a nice little zoom feature here so that you can zoom in.
I wear contacts, sometimes glasses, so that zoom feature is a very, very nice feature to have. Very user-friendly.
On text, it's small and very difficult to read, so very good for those of you who have eye defects. Also, this has a neat little feature where all of your open applications will appear at the center of the panel, and this is a custom panel that I created for this distribution. And when you're running in compiz mode, it will give you a screenshot where in XFCE mode it only gives you text. All right, let's go ahead and close this here. And you get a display manager on the panel. The reason I like to put this here is simply because I know when I'm running games in Wine, sometimes they'll change the screen resolution, and I just want to have quick access to be able to change the screen size, so I have that here. All right, also by popular demand, a lot of you guys said you would prefer that I'd included VLC on this distribution rather than my personal favorite, which is SM Player. So for the community,
well, in my opinion, VLC should be the standard media player for all of Linux. It's something I use for both Linux and Windows. SM Player is good too, but I've always liked VLC really since the beginning. So if you don't have VLC installed on your Linux distribution, definitely check out VLC. It plays just about everything.
I bit the bullet and decided to leave VLC on here rather than including SM Player, but if you do want to try it, it's very easy to install. HexChat has been installed. Just put in your nickname, whatever one you want, select Connect, and you're going to see that this has also been themed to match the desktop. It's got a lot of nice colors to it and everything, and I've got everything set up a lot nicer than the default setting would normally.
In case you haven't noticed, Spatry likes the dark theme. Of course he does. He likes to drink his coffee black. Duh!
Give you. So I put a little bit of time into that. All right, and then next on our tour, let's just go ahead and quit this. We're going to have a look at Firefox. Now, what I've done some of my personal favorite tweaks with Firefox, and I figured I would include that in here for you. For those of you who indicated that you do have problems with vision, there is a zoom feature which allows you to zoom in and zoom out on the web pages by clicking these little buttons right here. You also have a text button here, no small text, and it will just increase the size of the fonts.
Nice, very user-friendly features that I'm seeing,
without actually zooming in on the images. So that may be helpful for you too. And of course, this is the default home page. You can change it to anything you want. I'd like to thank Pinguy for this idea, because he has this on his distro, or at least he did when I was using his 1104 edition. I created a special Google search for you guys, and this is called the Cup of Linux OS Troubleshooter. And this will poll all of Manjaro's websites, Arch's websites, and my forum, and you can ask questions. So if you're having problems with this distribution, it will poll the Arch Linux websites, that sort of thing. You'll get information from the wiki. But I did also include a link to the Manjaro wiki and the Arch wiki, mainly for the reason that if you can't find it in the Manjaro wiki, believe me, it is covered in the Arch wiki, and you will find the answer to any problems you may have, plus a link to Manjaro's website. A link to Steam has been included, although Steam has not been installed on this to save space. Many of you guys aren't gamers, so why include software you're going to have to uninstall at a later time? Also a link to WineHQ. A lot of you ask me questions all the time. Hey Spat, how do I get this program working? I don't know how to get it working. Visit this website. They will...
Okay, you don't have to yell again and blow out my speaker. You don't know how it works. I get it. Jeez.
Tell you how to get that program working. You also get a quick link to the LDC. You can catch me on G+. My YouTube link is here, and then of course the link to cupoflinux.com. And while we're here on cupoflinux.com, if you have any support questions about this release, you will need to just visit the forum here and scroll down to go past Manjaro only, because that's just for Manjaro, and then Matthew's got his own little board in here. I created a special board right here, the Cup of Linux edition, for release announcements. So if you have any comments about this video that you would like me to answer, you may respond to this topic here. And then of course you can place any feature requests for upcoming editions. And of course, if you have any issues with this release, please post in here, and I will either answer it, or one of my staff members will research your problem and try and find a solution. And by the way, if you do think that this distribution is useful to you, please consider donating to support future development, because every time Manjaro releases a new snapshot, I plan on releasing a new Cup of Linux.
Yeah, please consider supporting and donating the respective content creators. I can imagine the amount, the large amount of hours it took to create something like this. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time involved for us content creators to create, the very best content that we are capable of doing based on the resources that we have.
Respins, so that you have the freshest software available to you. I replaced the default Get It with Mousepad, and then of course you have a quick launch to the Thunar file manager, and you'll see this theme is really beautiful to look at for a dark theme. Pressing F12 on your keyboard brings up your drop-down terminal, and yes, it has been themed for you. I included Screen Fetch with this. I wanted to also include Bashes with this, which would do some really cool squiggly lines and stuff on your terminal. However, the AUR package would build but didn't install properly, so I couldn't really include that for you. And the thing is, I couldn't really change this over to the penguin graphic that you display on mine, because anytime Screen Fetch updates, it's going to change that penguin back to an M. If you want to know how to change it to the penguin, you're gonna have to visit me at cupoflinux.com and post the question on the board, and I'll pop up a tutorial one of these days when I have a little bit of time to do it, telling you exactly what you need to do to change that to the penguin like I have on my terminal. Okay, and then of course you get the whisker menu. Now, usually
I do like the whisker menu. It's one of my favorite start menus. I like this in conjunction with the start menu for the Linux Mint Mate edition. They are very, very user-friendly. So I'm glad that Spatry chose to include the whisker menu, start menu, very user-friendly.
Manjaro ships Menu Libre with this, but the thing is, when I updated this before making my build, I kind of found out that Menu Libre didn't want to work anymore, so I took care of that for you guys. If you right-click on your menu icon and go into Edit Applications, a program is going to open up called Zame, and Zame is an excellent...
Wait. Did he say Zane or insane? Oh, insane. Right.
Menu editor. I love this program. Pretty much, you can do a number of things with this. You can go into any applications that you may have here. You can assign which categories they appear in, or if it's an item you're not even using, but you cannot install because of dependencies. We've had that problem, haven't we? You can hide that from the menu and then not be bothered by seeing that application again. Okay, let's go ahead and close some of these, and then let's go ahead into, let me see, I'll give you a quick rundown of the applications. I already threw a bunch of applications into the favorites area here, probably applications that are going to be most commonly used. Your ad remove software. You have your archive manager. BleachBit is Linux's answer to Crap Cleaner for Windows. This thing will clean out your system for you.
I believe it's now called CCleaner instead of Crap Cleaner for Windows, something I use. Spatry, maybe we should call it Horse Stable Cleaner.
Bulk renamer, great for those of you with photo collections and you want to rename all those photos from your camera. This application will let you do that with ease. You get the Firefox web browser, a quick launch to your calculator, hex chat that I've already discussed, a link to the menu editor that I talked about. You can take a screenshot. If you're having issues, we'll probably want to see a screenshot on the forum. A quick launch to your task manager, and then of course XFburn.
All right, there's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes left in this video here of his upload. I don't think it's necessary really to go through all of this. Let me just say that as you've seen so far, this is meant to be as user-friendly as possible for any user. So if you are a beginner to Linux, well, maybe not a complete newbie or a complete beginner, this may be something more for someone who has a little bit of experience in Linux and has tinkered around in Linux before. But that being said, as you can see here, it looks polished, it looks great, it's designed for the beginner. I believe this is a rolling distribution, so it doesn't have to be reinstalled all the time. Just perform the necessary updates, and this may be the only distribution that you'll ever use. So definitely check it out. It is the Cup of Linux edition, based off Manjaro. Me and Spatry think alike, so well, there's a scary thought. But what I meant to say is that we have the same standards of quality. As I've mentioned before. Anyway, definitely check it out. The Manjaro Cup of Linux edition. I'll have the links below in the show notes, cupoflinux.com. Definitely check it out. I believe you'll need to register on the forum to download this. It is free, so definitely check it out. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything? Thank you for all of your donations so far. Check out the latest poll. I'll have links below. Is Ubuntu headed in the right direction? I think that's it for this. Thank you for watching and listening. And as always, I will catch all of you sometime in the future.